the shinola on that one. All right. Now, I would like to address this arts funding issue. Now, this all reminds me of a humorous story of the traveling salesman. Let's say that the taxpayer is a farmer and the government is a salesman. Well, the farmer says, you can spend the night in my barn, but do me a favor, don't stick your willy into any of the 3 holes in the wall. Well, in this case, the salesman's willy represents the taxpayer's money, you understand. Well, the government, like the salesman, can't help himself. Sticks his willy in the first hole, it feels good. Sticks his willy in the second hole, it feels even better. Sticks his willy in the third hole, and it hurts like hell, and it won't let go. Well, in the morning, the farmer comes out, and he explains. Behind the first hole was my wife. Behind the second hole was my daughter. And behind the third hole was a milking machine that don't let go till it gets 50 gallons. Gentlemen, I propose that this arts funding is like a milking machine, and unless we shut it down, it's going to rip our dicks right off.
She used to save the darndest things. Rubber bands and bits of string. The kitchen drawers still overflow with these birthday cards from long ago. This recipe for homemade pie she never had the nerve to try. I should throw them all away. But not today. Matchbooks from our favorite place, this China doll, broken face. Pickle bottles filled with plants, this cuckoo clock we bought in France. The memories I'll never lose, 1,000 things I'll never use. I should throw them all away, but not today.
In the bedroom, there's a touch of roses in the air, but when I turn to find her, she's never really there. It must have been the perfume, the one she used to wear.
House and Garden magazines and these half-filled jars of jelly beans. Coney Island souvenirs. Music box that no one hears. Umbrella broken in the hall. Oh yeah. And this pillow from Niagara Falls. They should be thrown away. But not today. You know, of all the things I thought she'd take, that bride and groom from the wedding cake. But I guess she didn't really care. She left them there to sit and stare like me. They have no tears to cry, just dreams grown old and left to die. They should be thrown away, but not today.
In the bedroom, there's a touch of roses in the air, but when I turn to find her, she's never really there. It must have been the perfume, the one she used to wear.
What knockers!
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
To the happiness of your loving wife.
It's done! It's done! We'll make her one of us. A loving cup. A loving cup.
We accept her, one of us. We accept her, one of us.
Gooba gobble. Gooba gobble.
We accept her. We accept her.
Gooba gobble. Gooba gobble.
Does he sing in English or Russian?
In English. Come on, Berserker. Girls think sexy. I'll watch. Wait, he's gonna sing and watch. It's too funny.
My love for you is like a truck berserker. Would you like some making fuck berserker?
That's fucking funny, man.
Did he say making fuck?
Sure, why not?
Do you sell gum?
Yeah, it's over there. It's okay. Don't worry, we'll clean it up.
Yipes. Just yipes.
Yeah. Do you think they're cognizant of how bad they got it?
Let's hope not, poor bastards.
Lip balm?
Dude, you don't have to be ashamed or anything.
But I'm not a fudge packer.
Then why are you packing fudge?
I'm not. I'm a very busy actor. I'm just here trying to get away for a weekend and do some fly fishing.
Dude, you are in a fudge factory packing fudge.
Oh, that does it. I will sue you.
For what?
You can't just call somebody a fudge packer and get away with it. Hey, is that fudge packer Tom Cruise?
Society has always scorned the truly unique. But that's a burden you choose to bear when you can bend the very walls of reality with the power of your imagination. That's a gift to be respected and feared.
It's like we're waging an epic battle against conformity.
That which does not kill you makes you stronger. Pretty much best describes high school for us. Because we almost died.
John, the kind of control you're attempting is, it's not possible. Listen, if there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life will not be contained. Life breaks free, it expands to new territories, and it crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously, but, well, there it is.
There it is. You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
You worked at All American Burger
7 months ago.
I knew it.
Why don't you get a job, Spicoli?
What for?
You need money.
All I need are some tasty waves, cool buzz, and I'm fine.
All right, come out to our blast out.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Every
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king.
Hail to the king, baby.
Welcome, everyone, to Fantastic Comics Presents. For those of you that are new here or just people that like to hear this.
My name is Yul Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
That's right. I own a comic book store in Berkeley, California. This isn't just a comic book show on YouTube, like you're all so very much accustomed to. This is a comic show on YouTube by a guy that owns a comic book store and knows exactly what he's talking about, or is at least able to fake it. You get some like small business talk, you get some comic book talk. Sometimes we learn something. And we talk about the things that I hear in the comic store, usually when I'm talking with other people. But it could be an overheard conversation. And right now, it is really hot. We have been in Northern California, I'm sure in Southern also, or maybe just all of, under a heat advisory. And my goodness gracious, it was super, super hot today. I mean, it just kept, it was like, each time I got out of the car, it was like I added another layer of clothing. Thanks for everybody that are here right now. I know there was like a lot of stuff going on. There was the vice presidential debate. There were 4 baseball games that were all playoffs. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other stuff I can't think of streaming. Well, you know what? Let's just get into this right now. Since we talk about things that happen or that I talk about with people in the comic book store, this first segment we like to dedicate to that because, we only want to give a few moments of time. That's right. We like to talk about wrestling in the comic book store. The only thing I had mentioned to me was by a person that quit. This is how the conversation went. So, have you been paying attention to this Netflix show that's all about Vince McMahon? Why, no. No, I'm not really into that kind of thing. It doesn't really interest me. You're kidding me. That's what the other person said. You're kidding me. And there's a Netflix show about Vince McMahon being a piece of shit. The whole concept is that this was actually a project that WWE was all about. But it was during the time when Vince McMahon was really getting found out to be such a piece of shit. Duh, right? But so this is a documentary and it's going through stuff. And then the guy even told me, he's like, it's really nothing I haven't heard before. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Unless I find out about Shawn Michaels having sex with somebody, I'm just a big Shawn Michaels fan. Then, really big deal. And not only that, it's got to be really something special because the guy got around. What do you think? He's a born again? He got in trouble, right? I doubt that's going to be on the Netflix WWE look at Vince McMahon. But Shawn Michaels is definitely a central part in a lot of Vince McMahon, I'm sure. So if you have to see this kind of stuff, I'm sure it'll be fine. All sorts of YouTubers are out there, excuse me, talking about it. So it really doesn't need to be mentioned by me other than this. And this is my angle. They had the Dark Side of the Ring. Okay. I don't even know what Vice. Anyway, it was bad looks about wrestlers and moments that we all think are so wonderful, and we're finding out the real true story. Or maybe somebody's a real cad, and we're going to find out how horrible they are. I actually don't really enjoy those documentaries, if you can call them that. And it's because I feel it's an easy way, it's an easy avenue for someone who doesn't know much about wrestling to see how lurid and how horrible and only that aspect of it. And then they come to me like they know something. You know what I mean? Watch a real shoot interview with somebody talking about stuff and try and decipher what they're really saying, right? Because you know they're still keeping kayfabe to some degree, even though they're spilling the beans. You're not gonna. I don't know. I doubt it's very good. Those Netflix documentaries aren't ever really good. Either are the Hulu ones, either are the HBO ones. So anyway, there's gonna be a wrestling event this weekend. I don't have cable. And I also recently got rid of Hulu, therefore I wasn't seeing Raw, but it's going to be coming on Netflix soon, so we still got that for a bit. We're trying to figure out what we want to do, you know, cut the cable, cut the cord just a little bit. It's not like I can't see something on YouTube if I really care, but since we haven't had USA and SmackDown hasn't been on Fox and it doesn't get shown on Hulu, or at least I don't see it anymore, my wrestling intake has been real low. But there's a PLE, and we've got the Peacock, because who doesn't like the Peacock? And you can watch wrestling there for like $5-10, depending on. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The event is called Bad Blood. They're bringing back a classic pay-per-view that everybody hated called Bad Blood, and it's big. It's going to have Cody Rhodes is going to be involved with I don't know which Roman Reigns guy, which Sikoa, which blood brother it's going to be, but Roman Reigns is coming back to go up against Solo. And then the two big matches I think that people really want to see, other than something with Roman Reigns, is obviously Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, who's been slumming it over there on NXT, which I think is on the CW now. And so this Saturday, they're going to fight once again, but this time in a steel cage. And, of course, the most important match, maybe the most important match of the year, the feud of the year, we've got Rhea versus Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is going to defend her championship belt. But there's a lot of people that think that this might result in Liv getting some extra protection and obviously keeping the belt, because you don't want Liv Morgan to lose the belt and Rhea Ripley to gain it back on some Bad Blood. Might as well do it on TV if you're going to do that. That's the Wrestling Minute. Yeah, don't watch those spoiled. At least read a book. You know what I mean? I hate to be all gatekeepy about it, but it's just come on, you know, you got to suffer with the stuff, and you can't just jump into the deep end. Please. All right, I'm getting thirsty. I got a beer right here. I got a video to show, but it ain't the one that's going to get us kicked off for any amount of time, right? Oh, don't jinx it, you all. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And where the hell is it? Jeez.
Hello. 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 Oh. Look out. Hello.
Hello. Those were called telephones, kids. And they were plugged into the wall all the time, but in a special plug. My goodness gracious. Denogonizer, everybody. That's a good pour, right? Just did that now. I went out for lunch today, ordered a beer called a Kaleidoscope. And it took a long time to get that beer. I kind of looked over and I was like, oh my God, there's like all foam in the glass. And so I assumed that either the prior tap kind of was on the end or just got changed. Or the guy's really bad at pouring and he's the bartender. Or he just screwed up, right? Or he sucks at it. But yeah, there you go. All right, let's go. Got a lot of things to talk about comic book wise, but first, Fantinuum was here first. Last debate. Do you mean DC versus Marvel? DC hands down won this week. They definitely went all in. The covers and art are amazing. That is talking about next week's book, Fantinuum. So give that a rest just a second. Spider Guy. Doom covers still top all those shiny covers. How dare you? You know you like those shiny covers. What you don't like about shiny covers is how they warp, right? In the other room, Jill B. Pill is here. Hello. Illithid Lore. Greetings all. Greetings to you. Dwayne Moot. Telly can bring a nation to get together. Fortunately, it is 50 years late. Oh, howdy, you. Jolly. Hi, guys. Hey, Jolly. Battle Buddy, all in. All right. Let's see. Looking good. We gotta meet up. Oh, you guys talking to each other? Good. Excellent. I'm gonna pass that. Lithilor says, Vince, watching the documentary, Am I the Baddie? Nobody's bad for that, other than, for some reason I'm more interested in the Diddy drama. There you go. Now, if we know, we'll talk. 120 victims are now being represented by a law firm. Diddy be done? Diddy be damned? Damn, Diddy. LOL. I know, man. This is I have to start busting out those South Park gay fish songs and stuff like that. Oh, that's Kanye. Well, it's whatever. Oh no, Diddy does the Vote or Die one. All right. Yeah, man. Spider Guy says they're air fried Diddy. Raw is not on Hulu unless you have the live TV package, which I wouldn't have had anyway, Ali. So I'm just waiting for it to move over to Netflix, I guess. Or we're going to decide if we want to get Hulu back anyway. But I'm not really into buying the live TV package, Famous last words. This video won't get us kicked off YouTube. Harvey Weinstein, Diddy, Suge Knight, and R. Kelly should form a team. Then have a superhero event like DC. All in, not yet. LOL. I'm trying to think. You know who escapes all of this type of stuff, right? It's who's the guy in Boston Legal? Not William Shatner, but James Spader. He did some stuff back in those R. Kelly days, I think. Maybe not with, but and also, who else was that? That was somebody else with him. Dude from Wayne's World, the bad guy in that. He made it West Wing, that type of stuff. That guy made a comeback. But they did some stuff. So as far as a team being representing anybody, that's who you want, whoever they had. But Harvey Weinstein, he's going back to trial again. And he almost died in prison. Oh, these guys. Mignola, Drawing Monsters is a documentary, is a winner. Lots of shout out to Berkeley. So Mignola has is a video about him. Where can you see it, Battle Buddy? I'll put it in the chat so everybody can know. And then Phil the Kill is here. Let's go. Go Zero. I'll keep it on this for a second. Did I tell you it was hot today? Holy cow. I got home and I was like, I got to take my pants off immediately. I had this hat. Oh, yeah, Rob Lowe. That's right. That's who it was. I had this hat on. I had this thin-ass shirt that I wear. I love these shirts. They're starting to go on me, though. And then and then I had jeans on. And, ooh, baby. It was a crazy day. I hid inside like a cave. Like a bear in a cave, like a bar in a cave. That's what I did. All right, I don't get a Battle Buddy. One last time, Battle Buddy. Is this Mignola thing a documentary video? Is there a downloadable content? Is there a channel to watch it on, or is it some sort of book that they put out? Because I know the thing about the Drawing Monsters, but I thought it was a book. So, anyway. I didn't get it. Was it a Kickstarter? Was it one of those things also? Man. All right, let's talk about some books that came out last week. Let me bring the banner up and talk about some books that I thought were worth mentioning. A lot of times that's either sales, also how I feel about it, or just if you got to know about this because this is something that's a big deal, right? So that's very rarely, that's a little bit more slanted. But first up, I've got some best or recognition of. So this was not a sell out. I didn't order a lot, but a lot of people were talking very good things about a character. Some people were like, maybe I don't want to really read that kind of a character. And Lobo came out last week. And it's written by Kyle Starks, who's done a lot of stuff from Image, books I can't remember right now. I think he also, I don't know, some funny Image books, though. And Kyle Hotz is the artist, or Hotz, and that's his cover. There's also a really cool, obviously, Simon Beasley cover. And yeah, I would recommend checking this out if you like satirical, violent, and ridiculous spacefaring bounty hunter, sort of evil with a heart of gold kind of guy. Lobo. Titans number 16 is also a in recognition. I only chose 2 this week. I could have used Final Night. The art in that is amazing, and it won me over, but I'm still not going to read it because I don't care about video game comics. But the art is scintillating. And this second issue, oh boy, it's all sideways, so that is a problem. But, you know, got to love a gimmick every once in a while. And the drawings of these people, and I don't mean just the woman or the women that are in the book, but also the men. It is, is it hot in here? Did I say it's hot? But no, Titans number 16 finishes this whole Raven Dark-Winged Queen storyline, leading into, well, we'll get to that later. But yeah, this finishes the story. It's the one I picked up on, and I've been enjoying it quite a bit, digging it actually. And the one thing I got to say is that Gar Logan Changeling, man, he is just a therapist's dream in this comic book. Jeez. I don't remember. I mean, I remember him talking, but he's just like inane. and like, you know, a hormone that's just like talking. And it doesn't feel good for him to do that kind of stuff now, but this is not the type of, hey, he's more like Spider Guy. That would be better. Coming at number 5, we've got Batman: The Long Halloween. The last Halloween, each issue is done by a different illustrator because obviously Tim Sale isn't around to finish this third part in the Long Halloween story. Jeff Loeb is, though, and a lot of really great artists are going to be working on this. No slouches at all, and this should be a really good tribute to Tim Sale, and actually a lot of the people that are working on it too. Bill Sienkiewicz is going to be one of them, so don't, and I know it's a cliche, don't sleep on this book. So that's a really good example of a book I didn't read, and it didn't necessarily blow up off the shelves like I thought it would, but I think it has some time to breathe. And there you go, coming at number 5, that book. Coming at number 4, another book I didn't read, but I love nonetheless. If the masses are enjoying it, and I know I enjoy Jim Zub work and the art in this book, even if it's not the original artist, De La Torre, it's always really, really good. And if you're a Conan the Barbarian fan, or actually just want to kind of like dabble in it, no better time. This Conan is as close to the original material, but with the, I don't know. It's not like they're hiding anything. They're leaning into the things that make Conan good. But it just feels updated also. So yeah, good stuff. I like it a lot. All right, a book I did read, and that's why it's at number 3, Uncanny X-Men number 3. Gail Simone, David Marquez. David Marquez, holy cow. All right. No, wait, let me do it this way. Please, Stanley in the sky, get Jack Kirby and all the other artists and writers of note that are in, well, with you. Please give David Marquez a long, healthy, nearly continuous run on this book, because he is so good. And I would like him to get compensated for it. And I would like everybody to pick one up. So, amen. Uncanny X-Men number 3 was really, really good. This is 3 straight Gail Simone issues. And I know there's people out there like, duh, I've been liking her forever. She can't ever write people that aren't heroes. But I think she's doing a very good job. And as long as she doesn't give Cyclops heat beams, and he's not even in this book anyway, I'm loving the new X-Men books. I'm only going to stick with Uncanny X-Men and maybe X-Factor. But the 2 main ones, Uncanny and Adjectiveless, really good books. Ultimate Spider-Man number 9. Oh, this comes in at number 2. It sure does. It sure does. There's another extended conversation with Pete in his suit. But Dr. Octopus is, figuring stuff out as far as the suits that he and Harry have. I almost said Harvey. And then a bad guy shows up. So, really good issue. I liked it a lot. The threat seemed real, and it was a cool issue. I liked it. And continuing the Spider-Man theme, holy cow! All Spider-Man in the top 2. Amazing Spider-Man number 58. This is light on story, but the story does indeed move. And the art by John Romita with the exception of the part where Tombstone's daughter scrapes his eyes. The digging in just didn't seem like it's really there. And the after effect just didn't seem like it was something that's the one thing I have a problem with. Other than that, the art was amazing. It told a really cool story. And the action is leading into the next one. And the next week's splash page, I've never seen a comic do this before. So if you're interested in, looking at a book and saying, you idiot, this has been done a bunch of times, I disagree. And I would like to know the comics that do it. But Amazing Spider-Man does something different. Maybe it'll do something different and make you guys like it. But John Romita Jr. is, if this is his swan song on Spider-Man, as an old ass dude, he's killing it. He's awesome. There's so many Spider-Man artists that I like. Oops, sorry. I'm just trying to get rid of pictures. There's so many Spider-Man artists that I like. But so much of my reading of Spider-Man is John Romita Jr. So I love that dude. I think he's great. And anybody that doesn't like him is wrong. I mean, that's really it. You're wrong. All right. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that banner. And did I tell you guys that I own a comic book store and we're open Wednesday through Sunday? Subscribe and hit the bell for notifications and hit the thumbs up and all that stuff. And follow us on all these other things, but most importantly, Substack, where that's the only thing where we come to you. You come to us on Twitter. No reason to. Facebook, no reason. Instagram. Yeah, sometimes. I usually will post the show is going to be up on I put that up on Instagram, put a link. Haven't recently. Also, I if I get a comic collection or it's just something like, oh my gosh, look at all the transference of picture from comic book to board if you don't change your boards, that type of stuff. I get a stack of comics in and I take them all out of their bags and it's like, full of bags, right? And then you look at them from the top and they're more yellow than this beer, more dark. And it's just dirt and it's yellow. X-Men. Great time. All right, going back to comments. The Lithid Lore says, it was nice of Alex Ross to price me out of backing his Kickstarter for his documentary. Save me some money. Holy cow, how much was that? Oh my God. Brother Bal Contreras. Did I say it right? Is that B-A-L? I love that lettering. Sportertainment. Gun, blah, 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 blah. Shout out to everyone in chat, including Fantastic Comics. That's right. Keep up good work on the channel. Appreciate it. And shout out from the South Bronx. Brother BKL Contreras, a.k.a. Sportertainment guy. Okay, I got it right. Sportertainment guy. Oh, guy. Good. I hate guns. Wow, South Bronx. Wild. Cool. Let us know what you like in chat. That's a lot of lightning. A lot of lightning. What was in the picture? Yeah. Let's see. Never a good feeling picking up a yellow bagger. So I actually will still have a mask in my car, just in case. Maybe I'm not feeling well. I don't want to give it to anybody. But I always had masks at the store and gloves at the store because when you get comic books, in bags, even if it's clean. I mean, let's be real, even my collection, there's a lot of stuff that maybe it was like 5 years ago when I bagged them. So it might be time to like start thinking about changing them. It costs money, but it's good if you care about your comic collection. Especially if you're in an area where the moisture in the air is going to holy cow, there was water on the inside of bags, like ruining the comic books. And I'm like, oh my God, this great comic is being ruined. I sold them for like $10, this was like an expensive book. So on this big pile of comic books that I bought, and I went through all of them, I took them all out of their bags and boards, and I had gloves on and a mask because I hate breaking out, especially breaking out on days leading up to the show, because then I'll have like a zit or something. Alex Ross's Kickstarter just to get the Blu-ray was $80. Man, that guy, I don't know. It's not that companies and people that are rich shouldn't kickstart things. And I don't think it should be an exclusive thing because it obviously brings eyes and notoriety to it. So like there's good things about it. But when you're like a nobody and this is where it's perceived to be your only avenue of making headway in an industry, and then a dude like Alex Ross comes in and it's like waving his dick around, right? I mean, oh my God, it's painted so beautifully. Boom, it's right there on the counter. It's hard. I mean, I can see where there's some sour grapes, but you got to realize that like people bringing eyes into it also is not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of times though, I will, as you will, post some like, it's nice that you went through the stores to do this, that type of thing. So it can be a little bit of a bummer to see like those things happen. Isn't it only $5 to back his Kickstarter? Is that like as a thank you? Because there's those kind of things also, which is basically what our Patreon is. Lane Kramer's here. Hey, evening, guys. Evening, Lane. How are you? And then it's just if you want your name on the thank you page. Nice. All right, Spider Guy. Oh yeah, everybody know we have super chat capability. This is important. At least rebag older than Bronze Age comic books. Yes. Well, not even older. I mean, I see. At least rebag older than Bronze Age. Yeah. Although, see, the thing about, obviously, and then you're talking about different type of bags also. Usually you want a silver for a long time, and then I would go thick current. Tell me the comic show that's going to talk about this. You want to go thick current. So there's current size, which is the size of a comic book. But if you put a board in there, it's kind of difficult to get that in a comic book in, especially if it's something really big like an annual. That's why you want thick current. And if it can't hold it, if a thick current can't hold it, then you're going up to silver or golden age, depending. All right, let's see. Fill the kill. It's like some people store their comics above the stove in the kitchen. Yule, we got to get in contact for that GL book next week. Not this week, next week, right? Yes, we do. No problem. And there you go. All right, excellent. Well, thanks, Spider Guy. That's awesome. You guys, I beseech you, if you're going, look, if you have a comic book collection like this box right here, and they're all just sitting out and you don't care, and eventually you're going to get to them to read a comic book because it's all you really care about it, don't worry about it. Just make sure, it's not getting too dusty or something. I've got these ones on the spinner rack. It's fun to have them on the spinner rack. Some of them might be expensive, but I don't care. They're on a spinner rack. You know what I mean? But the ones in the boxes, if I take the time to actually bag and board them, rebag and board them. Get those expensive ones taken care of, and don't sleep. Oh, I did it again. Don't sleep on your Bronze Age comic books. We've seen crazy prices go up, and although they've come down a bit, depending Look, if you have them long enough to where you have to start thinking about rebagging them, you didn't pay in heavy. You know what I mean? Those comics are still good. These are still things that are going to be sought after later. Maybe just not the first Cottonmouth as much as you thought. You know what I mean? All right. Let's talk about... Oh, no. Let's talk about some new comics coming out next week.
Why, we sell a dozen a day in this price range.
Who buys them? Tax collectors?
Even if I had to pay, it would be worth it. Just for the occasion.
What, something big going on somewhere?
What's going on right here? It's a big night.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. Well, the calendar's full of them.
That's right. Calendar's full of them. And tomorrow is the 2nd. Did you know that it was Jimmy Carter's birthday today? 100 years old. Longest, oldest president ever. Not in office. Just, well, we already know that one. Don't make it 2. Don't make it 2. Sorry, don't usually do that. Gotta have the first Cottonmouth. Spotted in the rack. That's right. Well, maybe not spotted. I hate that. Oh, wait. I don't want to keep that up. All right, Battle Buddy. New comics coming out tomorrow, and most of them are already up. I have a little bit of a thing going, so watch this. First up, we have, they are running out a lot of X-Men's right now, and I know it can be really tough right now. Stegman's back on this issue. He was not on number 4. I'm really enjoying Jed McKay's style of one-issue stories that are leading into the other ones. You know, we'll call them subplots. It's as close to your favorite. All right, maybe not your favorite. It's, you know, when Chris Claremont came back and you didn't really like it, but now years later he came back again and again, but years later he'll never do it again. In the very least, it's like the first time. I enjoy it, actually. I'm digging it. I like Quentin Quire. I think he's a great character. Grant Morrison for life. And, look, Psylocke or Quanon or whatever she's calling herself. Cool. The last issue was dealing with the other part of the team. And look at that eyeball staring them down. Oh, it's cool. Dig it. Immortal Thor number, 16? I'm not reading it. I see Wonder Man in a suit. That doesn't do anything for me. Al Ewing writing, not a big deal. Funny enough, y'all seem to love it. So what do I know? Daredevil number 14. A lot of people telling me they like this right now. JR Jr. covers. Could he be the next illustrator? He said it on like social media or something that he would like to go back. Saladin Ahmed is on the writing, and I couldn't tell you who the illustrator is, but you know, you love Daredevil, so come get it. Spawn 357. Yeah, Spawn's still coming out for those of you that don't know, and for those of you that do, you've been probably picking it up for a while now, along with a bunch of other Spawn books like this one. King Spawn number 38. Around the same time, Gunslinger Spawn, King Spawn, The Scorched, which is like a Spawn team, all came out. And these things are long running already, like longer than your typical self-published book, your typical DC comic book, your typical Marvel comic book, your typical Boom comic book. 38 issues. This is ridiculous. And look, I mean, only Alex Ross could have given me paint like that, you know? Jeez Louise, this guy. My goodness gracious, what a cover. Ultimate Black Panther number 9. Oops, I didn't read issue 8 yet, but I was in love with it. What happened? They were right on the brink of war, and I was totally down. It happens. Sometimes you have to save up some issues. So I'm excited to read this one. I just have to read issue number 8 also. This is by Brian Edward Hill on writing. And I'm sure the artist is good, but I just don't care. Brian Edward Hill is killing it on this book. Venom War number 3 of 5. My goodness gracious, the series that never needed to be. Not only does it cross into Venom, but it has a series, a plethora of miniseries and one-shots. One of those miniseries comes to an end in Venom War Spider-Man number 3. Please, God, let this be the last issue. Kelly and Lansing, they're the new Abnett and Lanning of today. I don't think they're British. Greg Land's on art. That's kind of cool, but, you know, I know a lot of you hate him. All right. Now we're going to talk just a little bit about DC. First up, the book you never thought was ever going to come out, Justice Society of America number 12. Janin isn't on art. Yanin isn't on art. It's Todd Knock. Oh, jeez Louise. Todd Knock. Todd Knock is a very serviceable artist. Jeff Johns, this is his last thing for DC. He was unceremoniously abandoned. I don't know. He's doing his Ghost Machine stuff. More on that in a second. This is the last issue. It came out a few years ago. When I have to write up a new code for the series, I'll usually do something like JSA 2020. Well, if it came out this year and it was new, 2024. This is a 2021 book, I do believe. That's crazy. No, I think it's a 2022 book. 2022 to get 12 issues out. Anyway, this is important because once again, not unlike the last time Jeff Johns was like, you know, spearheading some sort of, you know, look into the future, it was abandoned for something altogether different. And now we've got the last issue of Absolute Power, the 4-issue miniseries with a lot of other miniseries and one-shots and stuff. A miniseries and some one-shots. I got caught up. I am done with issues 1 through 3. Art's beautiful. Dan Moore is great. Mark Waid knows how to tell a pretty cool story. There's a ton of characters, and not all of them do I care about, but some of them I do. And John Kent was just about getting, well, he was taken over by the Brainiac Queen, for God's sakes. And so were a lot of other people. And it was like the 3rd issue, there was a kryptonite bullet getting ready to be fired. And the Amazonians have allowed our heroes to be on their land because, you know, they've got magic and it's hard for, you know, science to get through that stuff. There's a lot of characters is what I'm saying. And sometimes they're doing pretty good. Sometimes we're focusing on someone I'm not really that into. More on that later. Because coming in on the same day tomorrow, we're going to have DC's All-In Special. This is a one-shot. And if you're a customer of mine, not the few-time customer. If you're a customer of mine, this is one of 2 books you are mandated to get in my store. How dare you not pick this up? You all right, so we have a couple of qualifiers on that one. If you don't buy superhero comic books, you're not obligated to get that book. If you're a Marvel zombie, you're not obligated to get that book. If you're like, I only buy Spawn comic books, you better not have bought a Spider-Man comic book then. You are obligated to get this book. If you care at all about DC Comics, that's what I'm saying right here. If you care at all, because this is their new initiative going forward. Because it's not just the characters that you see right here. It would have been good for me to take a picture of the other side. Because you see, on the other side, you'll see Darkseid and the new Superman and the new Batman and the new Wonder Woman in the Absolute Universe, which is going to have comic books coming out. We're going to call it the cool Batman, the cool Superman, the cool Wonder Woman, all And it's going to be related to this book right here. So not only do you have to get Absolute Batman, but you have to get the All-In Special. If you get any DC comic book, you got to get the All-In Special. If you're going to get any of the Absolute books, because you're like, oh my God, I got to get the Absolute book, you got to get the All-In issue. So like, I don't think it's going to be a crazy seller. I'd love it to be the top book in the best of last week, sales wise. But if you care at all, that's really what it comes down to. If you care at all about the DC universe, if you maybe are like, I wanted to get into the DC universe and there's this new thing happening, this is the time for you to maybe do it. Don't overdo it. That doesn't mean you need to go out and get Birds of Prey, which is a pretty good seller for me, actually. Good art, really fun covers. Kelly Thompson's writing a story that I just don't read. But I know a lot of you out there do. And you can tell it's an all-in because above on the left-hand side, it says it's an all-in book. You know what else is going to be an all-in book? Batman coming out next week. Look at that. It goes so cool. 1-to-1. Jorge Jimenez. Chip Zdarsky still. I thought Chip Zdarsky was going to be off this book a long time ago. Jorge Jimenez. Fantastic illustrator. Why can't you finally do Superman for real? And these are the all-in offerings. But like I said, it's not this Batman. It's Absolute Batman, which comes out later. It's all in this week. That's the one you want to get. And then maybe back it up with a Batman or a Birds of Prey. I appreciate that. All right, that's enough shilling. Nice House by the Sea. Still shilling, but book 3. James Tynion, Martinez Bueno. Oh, very bueno art. Jorge Belair or Jordi Belair on coloring. What do I even care? Storm #1. Not only is she in the Avengers comic book now, she's also in her own comic book. Lucas Wernick is on art, so it's going to look great. And there's a ton of covers. And I don't know the writer at all. And I don't even know how to say that. Ayodel? Something like that. Plastic Man, No More, #2. This is a Black Label 4-issue miniseries written by Cantwell, Christopher Canwright, and Alex Linz on art. And then there's some other people working on it. Really good art. Really like that first story a lot. Not always into Cantwell's second stories or second issues, but it's short, so hopefully it's going to be cool. And look at that, Metal Men fan. The first issue I think finally sold out, so you better jump on it. Get Fury #6. Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows do a story with Punisher and Fury back in Vietnam, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jeff Johns comes out with a new #1 for his Ghost Machine over at Image with Ivan Reis on art. Ivan Reis. Not since Ethan Van Sciver and Carlos Pacheco has there been a more influential artist on the Green Lantern mythos. And now he's plying his trade, taking his ball from DC, and he's running with the Ghost Machine crew, and Jeff Johns writing yet another book. Wow, what amazing illustrations on the inside. I just wish it was Green Lantern. Redcoat #6, Jeff Johns. Have you heard that name before? Brian Hitch. You had to have heard his name before. Authority, Ultimates, British dude who worked on Marvel UK books, worked with Paul Neary, RIP. Ed. All stuff, all sorts of stuff. Redcoat #6. Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes, Marvel Voices special. Robbie Reyes. Finally, we have a book with a whole bunch of stories with a whole bunch of people working on them. Ghost Rider, everybody. Mark Miller. That's how you say his name. Unless someone doesn't know. And then we all say Millar together. Wait, who's the artist? Valerio? I don't know who that is. He always works with the best, or at least, people that should be working on mainstream books, but they don't because they don't get paid near as much. Star Wars Inquisitors number 4. That was a shoulder shrug. Star Wars, The Battle of Jakku, Insurgency Rising. One of 12? Holy cow. Following the events of the Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Why, I've seen Return of the Jedi. When I saw Return of the Jedi, I thought, there'll never be another Star Wars. There you go. If you're down, hopefully they blow up the planet with the Ewoks first, right? I'm just joking. Conan, Battle of the Blackstone, number 2. This is we'll call it an IP-wide event of Robert E. Howard characters in a mini-series called Battle of the Blackstone. It started off in Savage Sword of Conan number 4, where there was a whole bunch of, or all the characters being, having stories, and you get introduced to who they are. Not the Red Sonja character that everybody thinks there is, but Black Agnes. Look it up. Barbarella number 1 by Dynamite. I think it's Dynamite because there's a ton of covers. I can't tell the difference between one company and the next. Oh, wait, they've got Joseph Michael Linsner. That's how I can tell. On covers, unfortunately. Because wouldn't this be awesome if it looked like that on the inside? Although they usually have a pretty good illustrator working on the Barbarella book. Can't wait to find out. Next up, we've got DC Horror presents Creature Commandos. Important because Creature Commandos is going to be the first James Gunn DC movie. It's going to be animated, and I do believe it's going to be on HBO Max or whatever they're calling it these days. So look forward to that. And look forward to this. Creeping Below by Brian Azzarello. Oh, Vanessa Del Rey on the art. That's cool. Hillary Jenkins. Must be a colorist. I think Hillary Jenkins has worked on some Matt Kent books, which would make sense because a lot of those come from Boom. Oh, I liked it so much I did it twice. Conan, Battle of the Blackstone, number 2, comes out. I think I finally sold out of the first one, so make sure you come in and get it. And last, well, no, this can't be the last. Hold on. I Like Popeye is last, really? I'm just looking. Wow, it really is. This is like Popeye Kaiju. He gets big on eating, well, spinach, obviously. And he battles big jeeps and big I don't know what the characters are. I didn't read the first issue. I just paged through. I was like, this is like, it's like looking at computer animated crack for your eyeballs is what it was. And that's new comics for next week. Excellent. Let's go back to comments. Before I do that, before I go back to comments, that's right. It's almost the end of the show. We're going to go and see what you all have to say. That was there's been a lot of big weeks. I mean, the thing is that with the comic books today, it's not just Marvel. It's not just DC. I might be focusing on those a lot because, it's kind of the bread and butter of the comic book store. But everybody knows I'm really big into Paranoid Gardens. Saga's a big seller when I actually get it in the store. It's coming soon, people. And, I do have other books that aren't just Marvel and DC that are my number 1 books. But when you hear about all these, newcomers, stepping up, Conan's doing really well for me. But, the Mark Miller books, kind of, but I think they're doing just what they would have done if they were over at Image. They're now at Dark Horse. the Matt Kent books, they're increased in price and they're not really digestible for the common reader, we'll say. It just doesn't really sing to a lot of people. And you got to know that the big deal is, you know, Marvel and DC comic books and the few other things that are not those books that people come into, whether it's everybody in all stores flooding the market or flooding to come in and get that one book. Maybe like, let's pretend Gru became so big again that everybody everywhere was always carrying Gru. And maybe possibly because there's still older comic book stores out there that when they see a new Gru, they'll actually get it in the store. So it's still a pretty good seller, but it's not like it used to be. And was it ever really? It had its moment, but those things don't usually last that long. So when we lament that we're not going to have, you know, the same sales for Saga as they were in the beginning, well, it was never going to be that way, probably. Cerebus, you know, went over 300 issues. We've seen spikes in Spawn quite a bit, but it will never spike like it did in the beginning, you know. Never. So don't think it will. All right. Oh yeah, and thank you to all our patrons out there. This rant was sponsored by our patrons. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're not really close, but you know, you're walking down all these tunnels, these alleyways, these streets, and you're jumping over all the barriers that prevent you from being a very successful store. And it's right there. I'm right there. The car is just above the spot on the GPS that we need to be on my phone. But we're not there yet. And I want to thank everybody that's been a patron of the past, and most importantly, the people that are patrons now. We don't give you a whole lot, but we really appreciate it. And for those of you that are considering, you might want to do it. You might want to, you know, be seen like all these people here. You don't want to be like this guy.
You know, my last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh? Paisanos.
650 you change.
Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio! Sì! Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patrona!
All right, let's see here. We got... Oh, whoa. This is a blast from the past. Okay, let's all pay attention to Black Panther. I hate what's been done to the Prince of Power. Let's see. I gotta go up a little first. Okay, did the Cottonmouth, spin the rack and next week we're gonna do the Wolverine Revenge #1 1-in-25 variant for anybody that bought the bagged copy. I think it was eventually a sellout. We have a second one, and it'll be for anybody else that does that type of thing. Even if it's online, you know, I can always send it to you. And the 1-in-25 is this cool EC style cover. And I plan on doing that for all of them, not unlike the Transformers 1-in-50s that we do. So the more successful we are, the better chance you are to get something for free. Fantinio says, LOL, dude. I thought Jimmy Carter died too. How? Talk about the Mandela effect. All right. So I was telling people at the store about my mother, and she's at home in hospice care. So they come and they take care of her, right? And I said, and I was saying, and my mom's name is Beverly Carter, not Jimmy Carter, because that dude's been on hospice care for like 24 months. They gave us 6 months to die. But he wants to vote blue one more time, and you know what? I hope the Dodgers can knock his Braves out, and we can all celebrate a blue victory in multiple ways. Don't worry, absolutely nothing happened in issue 8 of Ultimate Black Panther, but they were on the brink of war. They were like going to face off if they talk it out. JSA 12 issues in 23 months. Yikes. Yeah, I know, Dwayne. Let's see. You sold me, Yule, about All In. It's only one issue. Look, I mean, seriously, like when DC did Infinite Crisis, they had their DC special $1 issue. And in that, the Blue Beetle got his head blown off by Max Lord. And let me tell you, the old timers, holy shit, were they fucking pissed when they saw that. And then Superboy Prime being all evil and everything. Oh, they couldn't handle it. They were like, I can't stand Jeff Johns and this motherfucker Dan Didio and all these other things, right? Funny enough, because when I was a kid in the comic book store back home, the old timers didn't like Blue Beetle in the Justice League. Old timers. Oh, they always amuse. Oh my goodness. Fantinium says, this is important for everybody to know. 2025 SDCC is going to be huge. It coincides with the release of James Gunn's Superman. You guys got to get to work for this show on that one. Okay. How's that? Dwayne Muth. I'm reading Absolute Power 1 through 4 and the all-in-one shot plus Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman first issues. And after that, we'll see. Dwayne, that's exactly what I'm asking of my customers. Exactly. And read it. See, that's the thing. It's like you get it and you don't read it. So I was like that, but you know, I'm in the store and I'm reordering and I'm selling Absolute Power 1 through 4. So I haven't been able to read it. But you're not getting my copy of 4 until I'm done, but it should be okay tomorrow. Apparently, Creature Commandos movie is going to have Amanda Waller controlling them. Well, that makes sense with all the stuff that's going on right now, especially. Illithal Warlick's I Like Popeye. Thunderbolt's cast is promising. You're talking about the program? Oh, man, I can't watch any of that stuff. Dwayne Muth, this is what I like to see. Enjoying Space Ghost, Johnny Quest, Popeye, Dick Tracy, Transformers, all of the Ghost Machine. Well, thank goodness there's something that is in the previous IP. But that's awesome. Those are all really good books. Great art. Great art. There's some really good art, obviously covers when you go to Dynamite. Johnny Quest, you know how I love Joe Casey. Transformers has been great. We got 12 more issues of Daniel Warren Johnson writing. And yeah, all that Ghost Machine. We got the Francis Manipal ones coming up soon, and a couple of the other ones. How's your father's here? Hey, Yule. What? Hey, you. Pelican Toast. Good night to you, Battle Buddy. You know it. We're almost done. And Dwayne Muth. Poor George. He's turned his daddy's house into Bourbon Street. All right. We got through it all. And an hour 14. That's not too bad. I hope everybody has a good week. Have a good comic book week. Go out and buy a comic book. There's so many trades that have come out recently, and I rarely talk about trades. The new Charles Burns book called Final Cut came out. I'm getting more of those, everybody. And just to let you know, I'm going to have, I was reached out to by Joe Corallo and said, hey, would it be awesome if it would be cool if we like got together and talked about Final Cut? I'd love to talk about something that wasn't, you know, superhero or Mad Cave or something like that. And we had him on when I talked about Red Room #1, the first issue that came out of that. And you know, we're just gonna like geek out about stuff that isn't normal. And that's going to be in the middle of October, a couple weeks from I think we said the 14th or 15th or whatever it is. So yeah, it's coming up. So go to your comic store, get a Charles Burns Final Cut, or order one from a guy like me. And yeah, there's a lot of other trades. Ultimate Spider-Man 1 through 6 came out. All the Hulk stuff has been really good. And yeah, it's out there. So they did a Legion trade of the Great Darkness saga. And yeah, just some really good ones out there. So go to your comic store, buy a book, buy a trade, buy a comic book, buy All In. And I'll see you next week.
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. They're rolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish-free complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona kept trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn. She left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made them famous.